Assalamu alaikum everyone. Hussein Qadi here, your facilitator for financial management of or facilitator for the financial management ACCA exam. Candidates, we have already introduced our session that we have already done for the first session about the introduction of the financial management. We are expecting that you have already watched the video about the financial management introduction that includes how to approach the subject, that includes what are the details of the syllabus, and that includes the time specific duration and the momentum that we must have to develop for this examination. Candidates, overall there are 6 areas that we need to cover. Overall we have 6 areas that we need to cover for FM examination, ACCA FM examination. The first topic we are going to discuss, that's investment appraisal. As I have already told you that in my previous session, that a very little bit knowledge you people have about this particular subject. But the first topic, investment appraisal, you have a very limited background that you have already studied in the F2. Already studied at F2. So candidates, the topic is investment appraisal. Investment appraisal. If you start the point with respect to your syllabus, the first important thing I have already discussed, but recall one important thing: the target point, the exam scope is approximately 20 to 25 marks. Most of the part of this topic, it's belong to calculation, but the theory we cannot ignore. Any of the topic of the FM, we cannot ignore the theory. But here, almost 60%, 65% reflect the calculation, but 30 to 40% reflect the theory. We will start the topic with the calculation, but over the period of time, we will discuss the theoretical aspect as well. And furthermore, this part of the syllabus can examine any part of the exam, either section A, either section B candidates, or either section C, any part. So that's important. If we just make a helicopter view, a quick view of the topic, how many topics are there with respect to investment appraisal? So number one, this topic is actual about the decision making. This topic is actual about the decision making. And candidates, the decision making you have already studied in your specifically PM exam or something F2. But do remember, the decision making you have already studied in the management accountancy, that's a short term. But here we will discuss the decision making that's long term. So investment appraisal is actually about the long term decision making. And for long term decision making, the time value of money is important as well. The time value of money is also important as well. So candidates, here the topic about financial decision making, and that's the long term. Specifically, number one, we will cover some areas that's called general decision making, general topic. For example, general means, for example, if the company wants to buy a machine. The company wants to buy a machine. So if the company wants to buy a machine, the decision of financial must be justified. Means if the machine we are going to purchase, we have a plan to purchase a machine having a life of 7 years. So we must have to justify that in 7 years, if we invest the money in the machine now, what will be the expected returns? What will be the expected savings from that particular machine? And that's called the financial decision making. And this financial decision making can be made NPV method, IRR method, payback method, ARR method. All these topics we need to consider. Once we cover this general decision making, after that we will cover some specific decision making. Specific. Three specific areas: capital rationing, asset replacement, lease or buy. But about these topic we will discuss later. What is the topic? What the topic about? And lastly, for overall long-term decision making, there are some risk and uncertainty. So before implementing any project, how to measure the risk and uncertainty? We cannot eliminate the risk, but we need to calculate the risk. That will be the third topic. So then it means we need to cover these three topics accordingly. These three topics need to cover. Now, candidates, the very important point. The very basic question. Candidates, before starting the session, I have already shared the documents with you. The documents that will be used for this particular session as well as more session for decision making. Now, I'm going to start that particular topic with a very basic question just to recall. Here is the question. Here is the question. Very simple question. And I wanted to start this question with you. And do remember that we must be very much participative in the both side, your side and my side. First question you will attempt. The question is, an organization considering capital investment, new equipment, estimated cash flows are as follows. L0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0 means investment to 40,000. 1, 80,000, the inflows. 120,000 inflows. 70,000 inflows. 40,000 inflows. 20,000 inflows. I just want an answer that what if the simple point is that if the discount rate is 9%, what's the expected NPV? So simple. I'm giving you 2 to 3 minutes. Yes, must have to attempt accordingly. Attempt yourself. Do yourself. You have 2 minutes to attempt this question and reply me once you're done. I'm with you. Candidates, prayer time is here. And 2 minutes silent, please. Yes, candidate, try to attempt. Yes, candidates. It's a very simple question here. It's a very, very simple question here. Initially, whenever we will discuss the concept, do remember we will do the working initially manually. Once develop the concept, then we will attempt on the system. Okay, the solution. The cash flows, that's called the future cash flows. To 40,000, then 80, 120, 70, 40, and 20. Discount rate air zero means now, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 means later. Discounted 1, and the very simple discounted formula 1 over 1 plus 9% power 1, 0.917. Although discount table will be available, I know that, but I deliberately start the topic or the working with a manual working. 0.842, 0.772, 0.708, 0.650. And present value in term of thousands, I'm rounding off. That's x240, and then 80 multiplied by 0.917, that is 73.36, that's 733. 120 into 0.842, that's 101. 70 into 0.772, 54.04. 40 into 0.708, 28, 28, and 20 multiplied by 0.65, that's 13. And the very simple, if we working in total, that means 29 positive, 73, 101, 54, 28, and 13, that's equals to 269. One moment, please. That's NPV equal to plus 29. Very simple. You have to know that if NPV positive, then that means accept the decision. If NPV negative, that means reject the decisions. It's a simple NPV rule. What will happen zero, we will discuss later on. But it's a quick matter about whatever you have done in the F2. But the candidates, we want to incorporate more complexities with this area, with this area. How to incorporate the complexities? Listen here. Now, our topic is long-term decision making by NPV. Our topic is long-term decision making by NPV. And NPV you have calculated, and you have to know that it's calculated by future cash flows and the discount rate. What the mindset should be? Number one, if you need to calculate NPV, so the important point is that first to identify the future cash flows and you must have to know the discount rate. These two things. So in NPV, there are two possible complications in the discount rate and with respect to future cash flow. So we have to discover what are the possible complications with respect to future cash flow and what are the complications with respect to discount rate. Now let's start. Candidates, do remember one thing. Discount rate means investors required return. What does that mean? Investors required return. And until unless I will not sharing something about discount rate till the syllabus other part, you will always assume that investor required return always available. Means for the time being there are no complications with respect to discount rate, but now the complications related to future cash flow we need to cover. With respect to future cash flows we need to cover. That is the point. That is the point. So once again, we are here to discuss about how to calculate the NPV. Number two, why do we need to calculate NPV? Because we have to evaluate the long-term investment appraisal. For long-term investment appraisal, we required future cash flows and the investor required return. So, what are the complications with respect to future cash flows? Future cash flows. What are the complications? First complication is relevant cash flows. Do remember one point, NPV, the topic is about long-term decision making. Long-term decision making. And you have already studied decision making in your earlier studies. Where? Where? Can you please reply me? Where you have studied the decision making first time? Please reply me. Be participative. Where you have studied where you have studied. Yes, you studied in MA. You have studied with the MA paper, and that was about management accountancy. That was about short-term decision making. That was about short-term decision making. But now here we are discussing about long-term decision making. But the common thing is the decision making. But the common thing is decision making. So whenever we perform the decision making either short term or long term, the cash flows we will pick up, that's a relevant cash flows. So in decision making, what are the relevant cash flows? So always consider the term future incremental cash flows and any opportunity cost. Any opportunity cost. Candidates, okay. So relevant cash flow, that's the part of the NPV. And what are the relevant cash flows related to project? How we will think that? We will think in this manner. Listen carefully. If we are going to invest the money in a particular project, the relevant amount that should be put in the NPV, that's future. Number one is future. Future cash flow are relevant. That means past cost is irrelevant. Past includes any sunk cost or past include any committed cost. You have already studied. Based on the working, any cost you have already incurred, that's sunk, that's irrelevant. Any cost you have already committed, either project yes or no, you have to pay, that's irrelevant. Number two, in NPV, the cash flow is relevant but incremental, either fixed or either variable. Either fixed or either variable. The cash flow that will be relevant, that's incremental. Whatever the cash flow, sorry, whatever the cash flow that will actualize due to the reason of project. If the project occur, that's the reason to incur the fixed cost. If the project not happened, that cost can be saved. So that's called fixed and variable. Irrespectively, either fixed cost or either variable. Any incremental cost relevant. Further, that is your previous studies. Over the questions, we will discuss more. And all the cash flows are relevant. Non-cash items are irrelevant, like depreciation, like bad debts, that are irrelevant. Non-cash item, a portion cost, always irrelevant. A portion. That's management accountancy. For example, let's say an example. You have a restaurant. You have a chain of restaurant. You are a businessman having a chain of restaurant, and right now you have 4 restaurants in a different part of cities. Now you are planning to open one more restaurant, adding the chain with fifth one. You have appointed me previously with the salary of $100,000 as a supervisor and deputing to supervise 4 branches of restaurants. Now you have already assigned me to supervise fifth one without any increment. Previously, 100,000 a portion over 4 restaurants. Now same 100,000 a portion over 5. So fifth restaurant apportionment cost of supervisor is irrelevant because either open the restaurant or not, that cost, that cash flow is not change. not change. Furthermore, the opportunity cost. Due to the reason, this one is the first part. This one is the first part. And this one is the second part. This one is the second part. Opportunity cost. The opportunity cost. Due to the reason of the particular project, if you are losing any opportunity, for example, so that will be your opportunity lost, and that must be the part of the decision. For example, um, you have been doing a business for the manufacturing of air conditioning system, air conditioning system, air conditioning, and you are getting the profit, you are getting the contribution, but now you are there is another opportunity to invest your money in the car industry. So you have decided that you have squeezed your 50% business. You are withdrawing 50% of air conditioning business and losing the opportunity of the 50% from the air conditioning business, and just withdraw the amount from air conditioning and that particular amount invested to the car industry, new car industry, investing in new car industry. So in my case, for the sake of car industry, for the investment appraisal of car industry, the opportunity you are losing from withdrawing the business of the air conditioning, that's also the relevant cash flow. That's opportunity cost. That is the basic, and that's you have already studied. Very basic. So what we have done, simple word. In NPV, we are discussing the decision making, the long-term decision making. And the long-term decision making means the cash flows are relevant. And cash flow must be future, incremental, that's relevant. And that should be, all the costs must be cash flow. Non-cash item is irrelevant. Like depreciation is irrelevant. Like bad debts allowance is irrelevant. Like any management accounting apportion cost. Apportion means that's not incremental. That's not incremental. That's all the incremental cash flows are relevant, and any opportunity cost. So that is the basic point that we have discussed. Now, candidates, based on this, whatever we have discussed till now we are working with a question. But we are doing the question in this manner. NPV. For example, there are 3 years. 3 years are relevant. Means 3 years base project. So we will make a table in this manner, not vertical, that's horizontal in the exam as well. That's include what we have done in previous question, directly the net cash flows. But here we are working accordingly. What's the investment and what are the future cash flows? And then putting the net cash flow, then discount rate, then present value, and then NPV in this format. Because in initial F2 studies, your simple one term, that's the future cash flows. But here the complications of the future cash flows. That sales, the contributions, the fixed costs, all the things. Now it's time to work out with a question. Candidates, there is a question. This one is the question. Number one, listen carefully. First of all, why we are discussing this question LCH. Why we are discussing this question LCH? We are attempting question number 2 for the purpose to introduce the concept of relevant cost with the NPV. Relevant cost with the NPV. Now, candidates, listen carefully before starting to read this question. Do remember one point. In the examination hall, if you are attempting the question of NPV, the most important thing you must have to consider, you must have to focus first. What is about the decision? What I said? What is about the decision? The first important thing you have to focus and try to understand, to read the question and develop your mindset. What is about the decision making? Once your mind's established about the decision making, then you easily identify all the relevant cash flows of the question. So first, about the decision. Why? To identify the relevant cash flows. RCF, relevant cash flows. Read it once. Read it once. Take your time. Read it once. And ask yourself, what is about the decision here? 1 minute time. Ask yourself, what's about the decision? And number two, once you decide what's about the decision, then what are the relevant cash flow? So what is the decision what's the decision about in this question? Very simple. Number one, for the sake of saving of variable cost, should we buy the machine or not? I repeat, for the sake of saving of variable cost, should we buy the machine or not? Candidates, do remember one thing. In this question, we are working on to save the variable cost, but there is no change in the sales. So that means sales is not relevant here. That means sales is not relevant here. Now I'm reading the question. LCH manufacture product X which it sells for $5 per unit. Variable cost of production are currently $3 per unit. Fixed cost 50 cents per unit. This is now situation, variable cost, fixed cost. New machine is available which would cost 90,000, but which could be used to make product X for a variable cost of only 2.5 per unit. New machine we are going to purchase for what purpose? The machine cost 90,000, but we could be used with the variable cost of 2.5. So that means now variable cost $3 and after a machine that's 2.5. So we can reduce our cost. However, fixed cost would increase 7,500 per annum as a direct result of purchasing the machine. What does that mean? If we purchase the machine, one thing, the saving of variable cost per unit, but another thing, fixed cost will increase 7,500 per annum. Machine would have an expected life of 4 years and resale value 10,000, residual value. That means the life is 4 years. So project should be appraised 4 years. Sales of the product X estimated to 75,000 units per annum. And LCL expect to earn at least 12% per annum from its investment. Ignore tax. Ignore tax. You are required to decide whether LCH should purchase the machine or not. Whether LCH should purchase the machine or not. Now, candidates, the very, very important point you have to consider, the very much important point you need to consider here. One question I'm asking you and reply yourself. A quick reply. Should the sales in dollars figure, sales in value figure, relevant here? Yes or no? Of course, sales is not relevant here. Because sales, it's not going to change due to the purchasing of machine. Simple, either to purchase the machine or not, sales still continue. Okay, let's move quick on. So actually, the relevant cash flow in this case, the machine, yes or no? Yes, sir. The residual value, yes, sir. Variable cost saving, yes, sir. $3 minus $2.5 multiply by 75,000 per units. Yes, sir. And that's equals to 75,000 into 0.5 per unit. That's 37,500 per year. I hope all you people are with me. Machine is relevant. Residual value is relevant. Variable cost is relevant. And fixed cost, that's incremental. Fixed cost, that's incremental. And how much incremental, candidates? The previous fixed cost 50 cents, that's irrelevant. But here the 7,500 is relevant. So these four elements are relevant here. Now quick, we are working for the NPV. Yes, we are working initially the manual work to develop the concept. Once developed, then move on with the system, Excel, worksheets, and MCQs, OTQs as well. The relevant time period are 4 years here. Yes, 4 years. Now attempt it quickly. Fifth and sixth is irrelevant here. What we will do, candidates, we will do the machine cost Candidates here 90,000. That's the outflow. The residual value. How much the residual value, candidates? 10,000 at the end of fourth year. Then variable cost savings per year 37.5. And last, fixed cost, that's outflow. Now candidates, make it quick. What are the net cash flows? That's 90. That's 30, 30, and here 40. And here the discount rate, that's 12%. 1. Now calculate the NPV with yourself. 0.893, 0.797, 0.712, 7117712, 0.636. Now calculate the PV quick. 30 into 0.893, 26.79, say 27. 30 multiplied by 0.797, that's 24. 30 multiplied by 0.712, 21.36, or I must say 21.636 into 40, that's 25. And netting all 90, 27, 24, 25, 25 minus 90, that equals to NPV positive 7. NPV positive 7. So that's the answer, candidates. I hope that you got the point what we have done. Now moving towards the NPV, and once again, I hope you have clear with all the aspects that have done previously. That's the NPV positive 7. It's done. Now, what's next? The next point is that with respect to NPV, we have to incorporate more complications with respect to future cash flow. But before incorporating the more complications, one thing you must have to aware that. Listen carefully. The tax implications. The tax implications. Tax implications. What does that mean? The tax implications. For example, candidates, if we are investment for some project, for example, launching a product, for example, purchase a machine to meet the extra demand. So if we are going to invest the money with a profitable project, definitely we will earn the income, or we will earn the taxable income. What I use the term taxable income. So we have to pay the extra tax. If we have to pay the extra tax, so that tax is actually the implications with respect to the project. If project occurs, we will earn profit. We will earn profit, have to pay the tax. So that means the tax is also the relevant cash flow. So simple. If we purchase the machine and generate the sales minus variable cost, that's contribution, minus fixed cost, that's taxable profit. For example, we are earning the taxable profit of 30. So it means taxable income increases by 30. So tax authority will definitely ask to pay the tax. So if the income is relevant, the tax also be the relevant. So tax implications mean tax is also the relevant part of the cash flow. It's also relevant if it's related to the project. But the very important thing is that, for example, your project is 2018. Another important thing. For example, if you start the project at 1st January 2018, and there is a concept you already established, year zero. You know what is the meaning of year zero? Year zero means now. Year zero means where the project start. These three are interchangeable words. Always remember. Zero, year zero means now, or project start date. Anyone say project start date? It means year zero. Anyone say now? It means year zero. Anyone say year zero? It means project start date. So now year zero and project start date are same. And do remember, always assume, until unless examiner mention otherwise, always assume that our project start at financial year start. If examiner is silent, like this question, nothing is mentioned, LCH. In previous question as well, question number 1, nothing is mentioned that when we are going to start, at what date. So we will always assume that the starting date of the project is financial start. Let's suppose year is 2018. So we will assume that machine will buy, equipment will buy, investment will made at 1st January of the financial year. So once again, year zero, now project start, interchangeable word. And we will assume that year zero, now project start at financial year start. That's all. Number 1. Number 2, all the regular cash flows. What I term used? Regular cash flows. Regular cash flows candidates like sales, regular cash flows variable cost, regular cash flows fixed cost. Just hold, ignore tax. For example, sales. Sales if we purchase the machine at 1st January 2018. So sales will happen during the year, no? The complete 2018. During the year. During the year 2019. During the year 2020. Sorry, 2020. During the year. This during the year always consider year 1, 2, 3. Year 1 means year end. Year end. Although sales will occur the complete 365 days. If we purchase the machine 1st January 2018 and start production and sales start from second day. So the whole 365 days sales will occur. But we will assume that sales as a regular cash flow occurred at year end. And year end means year 1, year 2, year 3. Same case variable cost, material labor overheads. The material labor overheads will occur over the period of time. Over the period of time. But we will assume that year 1, 2, 3. Same fixed cost. That's the point. That's the point. Now, candidates, listen carefully. For example, if we purchase the machine now, year 0, now, and we will earn the sales at year 1, 2, 3. And variable cost and fixed cost also earned same date. Now listen carefully. Very critical point. If we earn some income at 2018, so when we will pay the tax, definitely we earn the income 2018, the tax will assess our income next year. For example, 2018 end at December. Tax authority will come March, April, May of 2019 and calculate the working during 2019. During 2019, about what we have earned 2018. So it means most of the time the tax payments are 1 year delay. 1 year delay. So whatever we earn here at year 1, the tax will pay next year. Means 2018 tax will pay during the year 2019. During is nothing. That's year 2. Whatever we will earn year 2, the tax will pay year 3. And whatever we will earn year 3, we will pay the tax at year 4. So two things we have learned here. Number one, two things we have learned here. Number one, tax is a relevant cash flow. You will accept this point. And number two, the most important thing, tax is relevant, number one. Number two, if examiner says that tax is 1 year delay, so we will put year 1 income tax to the 2, 2 then 3, 3 then 4. But If examiner says that tax in same year, tax, it may possible same year, very rare case. So year 1 tax same date, year 2 tax same date, not delay. That is not delay. Now candidates, it's a time for the question. We are moving towards to incorporate the complication of the future cash flow. That's a very interesting aspect. That's a very interesting aspect. Now, read this question, candidates. You also have this question, question number 3. The documents you also have. Can you please read this question? That's question number 3. Question number 3. You can zoom it or read from your own document on the system. Read it, please. Read once. Yes, have you read it? Okay, now it's my turn. Candidates, listen carefully. Question number 3. The project cost 600,000. Project life 6 years. Residual value 30,000. Year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sales. Variable cost first 2 years 40% sales revenue. Remaining 3 years 30% sales revenue. Annual fixed cost excluding depreciation. It's incremental, huh? Incremental. Excluding depreciation. And definitely we need always excluding depreciation. That's 40,000. Tax rate 30%. Capital allowance available. Project cost 25% reducing balance basis. Tax paid 1 year delay. Tax paid 1 year delay. Leave it the concept of capital allowance now. We'll discuss later. It's mentioned in this question. Investment in project will be made beginning of financial year. If examiner is silent, you will always assume this. If examiner not silent or mentioning something other, we will discuss later. But here we always assume that project will made at the beginning of the financial year. That's the key point. WACC means discount rate, NPV of the project. Now candidates, I am giving you 2 to 3 minutes. Whatever you think, try to attempt it. If you're watching this video, you must have to pause it and at least attempt 2 to 3 minutes, whatever you understand it. Not to NPV, but the structure of the NPV. Investment, sales, tax, whatever. Now start. It's your turn. 2 to 3 minutes. Candidates, please start. Yes, candidates, now start. Number 1, descriptions. We are here to calculate the NPV. Huh? All of you are with me? Yes. Be participative. Be participative. First of all, we have to purchase the machine. The machine cost, that's 600. And the machine residual value, candidates, residual value 30. That's 30 here. How much the columns? Here, candidates here. How much the columns? Year 0, year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The project life is 6 years. But the columns here are 7. Why? Because of tax 1 year delay. Project life is 6, but columns are add on with 7. That's 1 year delay. Okay, now machine 600 and machine will sold at the end of the project, and project end at year 6. That's 30,000. Residual value, that's 30,000. Inflow. Now sales 250, 290, 360. 250, 290, 360, 400, 300, and 260. Okay, variable cost. First 2 years, 40% sales revenue. Then 35%. 40%, 250 into 40%. You people are not, if you people are not working with me, that's how the practice will occur. Yes, 290 into 40%. That's 116. Then 360 into point. First were 40, then 35. 126. 400 into 35. 140. 300 into 35. 105. 260 into 0.35. That's 91. What's the fixed cost, candidates? How much the fixed cost? That's 40,000 incremental. If you have any problem, do let me know immediately on the WhatsApp. You can pause and you can pause me. Now the tax payments. Tax payments. The tax payments. Tax rate 30%. 30%. And the tax matter here, that's delay. That's year 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7. How to calculate? 250 minus 100 minus 40 into 30%. That's year 1 tax payment at next year. Year 2, 290 minus 116 minus 40 into 0.3. That is 40. Year 2 income 134 into 0.3. That's 40. Year 3 360 minus 126 minus 40 into 0.3. 58. That's 66. 300 minus 105 minus 40 into 0.3, that's 47. And candidates, listen carefully. For the time being, this machine aspect and the residual value, this machine aspect and the residual value, that should be avoided. So ignore 30 residual value right now. Ignore right now. So take a 260 minus 91 minus 40 into 0.3, 39. 39. That is the point. 30, 40, 58, 66, 47, and 39. Now, candidates, till now, whatever you have done, that must be very much clear. That must be very much clear to all of you. Now, listen carefully. The next thing, very, very important concept we need to discuss here and conclude this question. And very important. That is the concept we are going to discuss, which is very much important for most of the questions. For most of the questions. And what is this about? We have splitted the working of tax here in two components. One name is tax payment and another name is tax saving from capital allowance. Tax saving from CA. Now, candidates, listen here. Very important point. A part of this question, developing a concept. Whenever we purchase a machine, for example, now at year 0, if we purchase the machine with a value of 1000, and for example, the project life is 4 years, I will sell it by 50 at the end of the project life. Right now, this machine is my cost. I will go to the tax authorities, and ask, tax, this 1000 is my cost. Mr. Tax Authority, this 1000 is my cost. Allow me this cost adjust with my taxable income. Adjust with my taxable income. Adjust with my taxable income. You need to understand this point. Huh? This is my cost and adjust with my taxable income. Whenever, if tax authorities allow this cost as an expense, as a cost, and adjust with my taxable income, automatically my taxable income will reduce. And my taxable income reduced by this cost and my tax will save. Tax savings will occur. Tax saving tax saving is actually the relevant cash flows. Once again, if we purchase a machine and incur a cost, that's called that's called the cost. And if we go to the tax authority and ask him to allow that taxable income, allow this cost with the taxable income, and if they allow, our taxable income will reduce and my tax will save. With respect to, now carefully, listen carefully, any of the cash flow saved due to the reason of project, it's deemed to be inflow. I repeat, any of the saving due to the reason of the project, that's deemed to be inflow. Any of the savings due to the reason of the project, that's deemed to be inflow. 1 minute silent. Prayers is announcing here. Okay. Number one, machine cost. Number two, if tax authority considered that cost as that's cost adjusted with taxable income, that's called tax saving, and tax savings is deemed to be inflow. Now the candidates, very important thing, you have to know that, you have to cover this very important thing. Next thing, candidates here, listen here. Tax authority says that we will, yes, we will allow this cost, but not at once, but the over the period of time. Tax authority will say two things. Number one, yes, we will allow, but over the period of time. Over the period of time, like accounting depreciation. And like accounting depreciation, this is called tax depreciation. And the name of tax depreciation called capital allowance. So what we will say that depreciation is a non-cash item. Either accounting is a tax. Listen carefully. Depreciation is a non-cash item. Depreciation is not relevant here, candidates. But the tax saving from depreciation is relevant. Tax saving from depreciation is relevant. Either accounting depreciation, either tax depreciation. Both are irrelevant. But if tax authority allow, for example, 100 depreciation. So 100 depreciation is not relevant. The tax saving, if tax authority allow 100 as depreciation, our taxable income reduced by 100 and our tax saving reflect 30, and this 30 is in flow. That is the concept. That is the concept. So very simple, candidates. There is a very standard working that's called tax saving from capital allowance. The heading is tax saving from capital allowance. I hope that all of you people are with me. We will apply this concept in question. We will apply this question accordingly. Candidates, listen carefully. In the question, it's mentioned that the capital allowance means tax depreciation. Capital allowance means tax depreciation on a 25% reducing balance. I hope that you know very well about the reducing balance. It may be straight line, but here reducing balance. Reducing balance method means diminishing balance method. Where simple machine cost multiply by percentage, not adjust the residual value, because residual value automatically incorporated in this percentage. And do remember, tax are 1 year delay. So now applying this, an important project cost 600 and residual value 30,000, 6 years. Again, depreciation, important point. If depreciation, if depreciation, if tax depreciation at year 1, so tax savings delayed year 2, year 3. That's depreciation. That's deferred to year 2, deferred to year 3. That is the point. So one thing is depreciation, another thing is tax impact. And last point to remember, our cost is 1000. Our cost is 1000, but this is our residual value. Tax authority allow this 1000 as an expense, not this 50, because 50 it's not cost, it will recover. Now putting all this concept into question. Now candidate, there are 4 columns. Number 1, year of claim. Claim means tax depreciation. Claim means, here claim means tax depreciation. Now we need to calculate. At year 1, what year? At year 1, the machine value is 600. Be with me. And the reducing balance method means 25%. 25%. That's equals to 150. Ignore tax benefit and year of benefit. Ignore. First have to complete this column, capital allowance. Year 2, diminishing balance method. In accounting, the diminishing balance method you will calculate like this now, 600 minus 150 and multiply by 25%. 600 minus 150 into 25%, that is 112.5. But this 112.5 can also be calculated with a simple calculation. How it is? If air 150 and depreciation rate 75%, so balancing is 75. If depreciation rate is 25, balancing 75. So 150 into 75, same answer, 112.5. Both are same, but the shortcut method. But the shortcut method. But the shortcut method. So we will work out in this manner. 150 into 75%. This is depreciation, huh? 112.5. Here 3. 112.5 into 75%. 84.38. Do remember the project would end at year 6, huh? 4. 84.38 into 75%. 62.29. Year 5, 62.29 into 75%. 47.46. Now candidates, another important concept. Another important concept. Listen here. Listen here. Now sixth and the final year. Sixth and the final year. Sixth and the final year. Candidates, listen here. 5 year has gone. Last year is sixth. Now, the tax authority. We purchased a machine with 600. And till year 5, year 1 till year 5, we have capital allowance claimed. Capital allowance claimed means total depreciation. This is what the total depreciation. 150, 112.5, 84.38, 62.29, 47.46. That is 456.63. This value. 456.63. What I'm doing? Machine total cost 600. Sixth year is the last year. What we said to the tax authority, out of 600, we have claimed 456.63. So the written down value, it's 143.37. Written down value means remaining book value. Written down value means book value. Remaining claimed 143.37. Remaining this cost for depreciation, but our project now become close. Sixth year close. So tax authority will say, okay, claim the balancing figure. But balancing figure, the tax authority says that residual value will not allow. And how much the residual value? 30,000. So the remaining figure 143.37 minus 30, that's 113.37. That is balance. That is balance. 113.37. That is balance. That is the balancing figure. So once again, this is what the tax depreciation that's we calculate. But this tax depreciation is non-cash. We will apply the tax benefit. Tax benefit means capital allowance multiplied by tax benefit 30%. Multiplied by tax benefit 30%. And what that do remember, if year 1 the tax benefit will fall, year 2 the tax benefit will fall, year 3 delay 4, 5, 6, 7. So simple, 150 multiplied by 30%, 45. Into 30%. 112.5 into 30%. 34. Same. 84.38 into 30%. 25. 62.29 into 30%. 19. 47.46 into 30%. 14. 113.37 into 30%. 34. Candidates, are you with me? I hope that all of you people are with me. If you have any issue, do reply, pause the video, do reply me on the WhatsApp. Now putting this figure, now this one, this deemed to be cash inflow. 45, 34, 25. That's one. 45, 34, 25. 19, 14, 13, 4. 19, 14, and 34. Now that's all. Now you can calculate the total figure. Yes, this one. Net cash flow. And that's complete. Net cash flow, that is 600 negative 250 minus 100 minus 40. Make it quick. What's the year 2? Make it quick. 290 minus 116 minus 40 minus 30 plus 45. 149. Yes, you calculate and reply me. 4567. 360, 126 minus 40 minus 40 plus 34. 188. 400 minus 140 minus 40 minus 58 plus 25. 187. Please reply me. 108. Now year 6. 30 is a part, huh? 30, 260 minus 91 minus 40 minus 47 plus 14. 308. You must check the answer. Sorry, that's 126. And 39 minus 34. 5 minus. Now candidates, you can use the discounted here. The discounted is 12%. You can use the discount rate, then present value NPV. It's so simple. I hope that you can perform this with this figure, discount factor, present value, NPV. I'm going to tell you the final answer. Calculate your final answer of NPV in this question. NPV minus 10. If you have any concern to calculate this final answer, you can ask me anytime. So I hope that it's clear, and that is over for this session. For this video, that's over. We have introduced a comprehensive topic of the investment appraisal, and moving forward we will incorporate more complications with this particular NPV topic. So now ready for my next videos, and thank you very much about this particular thank you very much for watching this particular video. Assalamu alaikum. You must also have to aware that how I will share the material with you. Every Friday we will meet with the timings of 7 to 8:30 Pakistan Standard Time, 7 to 8:30. But every Saturday morning or after the Friday, you will get this control file. Listen carefully. This is what the control file about June 2020. And this is what the syllabus, all syllabus. And this is control file. Now, these are total 7 topics. And first topic, investment appraisal including this. And these are the aspects. Investment appraisal. In the document, it will mention that how much step solution. First step, you must have to watch this video with the part 1. This will be the link, and this link is only viewable, watchable, not downloadable, and you cannot transfer to anyone. And then the second step, if it's mentioned that something have to self-attempt, don't be over smart. First have to self-attempt, then move to the third step, then watch the third step, then fourth step, then again self-attempt. You have to self-attempt first, then watch, then accordingly. That's a full week working. And after that, these are all based on targeted. These are all targeted working. These are all targeted working. So you have to meet the targets accordingly. Okay. And now remember me and my parents in your prayers. Thank you very much. Take care a lot.